Welcome. Happy, beautiful Monday morning. It is. Happy Founders Day. It is for us. On behalf of the Rescuing Our Communities podcast, an initiative to educate and empower people who may be victims of intimate partner stalking and domestic violence. Today, I am here with a special live cast in honor of my late mother, who happens to be the woman who today is June 16th of the year, exactly 5 years ago in what just happened to my camera? Okay, hopefully I'm back, people. I don't know what just happened, but hopefully I'm back. Let's just make sure. I don't know what the hell just happened, people, but who knows? I don't know. All right, let's figure this out real quick before I continue. Let's see. Happens to the truth and the light. Oh, come on, people. What is going on with my connection today, people? I do not get this. Okay. We might be all right. Okay, people, I think I'm live. I think I can go. I think I'm live. Whatever. All right, I think I'm live. So anyway, like I was saying, today is Founders Day for Operation Rock. I don't know what happened. My camera just went out, but it's a beautiful Founders Day. 5 years ago today, I found my mother deceased on her bedroom floor. Horribly traumatic experience, let me tell you that. One that gives me, unfortunately, really cold nightmares to this day. Something I'm still dealing with to this day, obviously, as I've been up for a couple of hours. But I can confidently say today is probably the strongest I've been in the last 5 years. Considering the fact that I've unfortunately had my ex-partner, the same ex-partner who's been stalking me for the last 4 years in my life since the death of my mother, I consider this woman the curse that accompanied the death of my mother. It just seems like every year, people, that my mother's death comes around, I just happen to be in court with this woman, either the day of my mother's death, the day right after, the day before. I swear to you, I truly believe that this woman is the devil. I believe that was her purpose in my life, because God puts evil people in your life for a reason. He puts evil people in your life to either destroy you or help you become the person to level up, to recognize the evil to destroy. And I totally believe that my ex-girlfriend, Francina Evans, is that woman. She's a pathological liar. She has stalked me between the states of New York and New Jersey for well over 4 years now. I've won numerous court cases against her. There's an active lawsuit against the NYPD, the city of New York, and the Richmond County DA's office for numerous civil rights violations that have been inflicted on me by her. There's a lawsuit against the state of New Jersey because of the things that this woman has done to me. So, people, over the last 3 or 4 years, I can say that I have comfortably been placed in the role of a civil rights advocate due to the trauma and the abuse I've suffered at the hands of women who have used litigation and false reports, vexatious litigation to the family court to pursue me, harass me, and ultimately cause me harm out of vengeance for hurting them. Francina Evans is not the only one. The mother of my child has also done this, which I totally take responsibility for myself. The people you have children with will probably be the most important decision in your life. All of my problems started 5 years ago, people. I'm telling you, I met my ex-girlfriend at my mother's funeral. My child's mother, I slept with one night because I was lonely and I just needed somebody to be there. So I slept with this little roach ass chick and she got pregnant. God, like sometimes I wonder if God has done this to me to put me through the fire to make me a better person. Because I have met two horrible people in the last 5 years who have completely tried to destroy my life. But God is good, people, and they have failed, because the truth of the matter is that God knows and the universe knows that I've been telling the truth. I've won numerous false report charges against my ex and my child's mother. People, it's just been a horrible nightmare. Operation Rock was started by my late mother probably 6 or 7 years ago, but she never did anything with it, people. She just had it set up as an LLC. So when she died, a few of her friends that, they claimed they were her friends, the truth was they were just trying to find a way to get themselves into something that could keep them relevant like she had them. Because, she was a pretty, I want to say, prominent woman. She had a lot of connections in her local community. People knew her, etc. And people knowing her and those connections are the reasons why she was so liked and loved, because they knew they could go to her and not expect her to expect anything from them, and she would do favors for them. And she probably did this her whole life and was used by people who called themselves her friend her whole life. The unfortunate part about death is that it tends to expose people for who they really are. And the people that she knew were no different. When my mother died, several of her friends totally flipped and showed themselves to be what they truly are, which were using, manipulative, completely low-level, pathetic women. She was the prominent one out of them. She's the one who kept them before the public and before the people. Some of them not so. Some of them were capable of standing on their own, but many of the weaker ones, they needed her to be relevant. I never really did, people. I tried to stay away from my mother's life. I tried to stay away from her charity work. The only time I was really involved is when she put pressure on me to do it. Like, I stopped and saw all the time. I loved my mother, people. God, I love my mother. And I always wanted to make sure she was okay, regardless of the fact that she and I had a disagreement. We might not even been talking, people, but I'm the child who would go, despite the fact my mother might have did something I didn't like, and I might not even been talking to her, but I would stop by and say, "Ma, you okay? You need anything?" My sister wouldn't talk to her for 6 months to a year. But Clayton never did that to her, because Clayton actually loved her. I would try to help her, people. So I would go to her charity. She would send me the events for her to sit in for the day because I worked in the city. I would do things for her. And I believe in doing those things, she was kind of trying to prepare me for what would ultimately happen to me, because she knew it was in me. Sometimes when you become an advocate for something has to bring it out of you. You have to go through some type of trauma. You have to go through a situation. And that situation gives you the fuel and the credibility and the energy to pursue what you want to pursue. In my case, it's false arrest and malicious prosecution. It's people who should not be in power because we make the mistakes of electing them thinking that they're going to do the right things for us. When the truth of the matter is they're not. They're angling for position and power for themselves. They're angling for resources so they can manipulate other people into supporting them while they do the evil and malicious things they intend to do. I have some thoughts about that also. I'm going to do a podcast about a Malcolm Penn, a local Staten Islander running for district leader. I'm going to play some recordings. I'm going to expose some things because honestly, this is not a good guy. This guy should not be in public office. So I'm actually going to step out into the public arena and work with some of the people who are running against him so this guy does not run. And I'm not doing that because I'm a black man who does not believe that other black men should change their lives. I'm not doing that because I'm a hater and I just hate on Malcolm Penn. I'm doing it because Malcolm Penn was part of a conspiracy to deprive me of my civil rights, which was launched by the very ex-girlfriend I'm speaking about, Francine Evans. Domestic violence is real, people. But what's more real than domestic violence is the abusive, I want to say, movement created to support women's solidarity. Women's solidarity has become incredibly corrupted. Women don't stand together anymore because of right and wrong. They stand together for the principles that make women feel they're disrespected. And what I mean by that is this. Women stand together if a man verbally disrespects a woman. Let's say he calls her a bitch and a hoe and he says all type of disrespectful stuff. Women don't like men talking like that. So if a man's in a position when he does talk like that, he can be completely innocent of a physical abuse, any type of domestic violence. But if he doesn't talk to a woman the way she likes, other women will turn on him. They will turn on him. They will villainize him. They will do everything to support that woman because in the minds of other women, this woman will be a victim of verbal abuse. It doesn't even matter if the woman who's being verbally abused is verbally abusive to the man. See, nothing really matters when it's done to men in relation to women, unless it's something physically violent that can take a man's life. Women are allowed to harass men. Women are allowed to file false police reports and vexatious litigation on men. Women are allowed to slander men. And if a man doesn't have the resources or the capacity to deal with that slander, his reputation is destroyed, his life is destroyed, his whole world is turned upside down. I myself right now have been a victim of this for years, and I'm even a victim of it now before the federal courts of the United States of America. Unfortunately, 15 years ago, I was a male escort, not by choice. I was released from prison. I needed a job, people. That's the truth. But I was always good with women. I was always able to talk with women. I never had a problem dating beautiful women. Like, if you've seen the women I date in my life and the mother of my child, people, you'll be like, Clayton, what the fuck was you thinking? And that's the God's honest truth, people. The mother of my child is a complete embarrassment. I have absolutely no intention on ever going public anywhere with this woman. And it's cost me so much because I think she's finally at the point where she realizes that, and it makes her hate me because she knows I'll never do anything with her. But in any event, people, I was a pretty popping guy. And I met a woman. I started dating her. I started a sexual relationship with her. I started smoking her boots. And she's like, you are really, really good in bed. And, she was doing all types of stuff. I didn't believe. I'd never believed women when they told me I was good in bed. I figured they were just flattering me. But she was quite serious. So for a couple of weeks, she starts shooting an idea at me. She's like, you ever thought about underwear modeling? Because you got a great body. I do. I have an excellent physique. I'm incredibly defined. And I said, that's not going to work. I don't think I'm comfortable with that. But she said, what about being a male escort? And I looked at her and I was like, what? So she says, yeah, like, you ever see the TV show Hung from HBO? Now, I had saw a TV show Hung from HBO. I thought it was a good show. Hung was about a white guy who was a school teacher who moonlighted as a male escort, kind of like Clark Kent Superman type thing, where during the day he was a gym teacher. At night, he was slaying women with this huge penis who were calling him for sexual services. So I was familiar with the show. She says, you could be that, you have she said, you got you're diverse, you're charismatic, you're funny. She said, I could see you doing something like that. And I'm thinking she's full of shit, but she's dead serious. So, over the next couple of weeks, she's continuously kneading into me with this. And I'm like, no, absolutely not. Because the truth is, people, I wasn't with it. I'm not comfortable in situations where other people have more money than me and tell me what to do. I'm not comfortable in those situations. So I couldn't really see myself in a situation where two people I didn't know had financial control over me in a place that I wasn't comfortable in. But she kept at me, people. She kept at me. She took me out for my birthday that year. I remember in 2009. She takes me out for my birthday. And I think we went to Seaside or Wildwood, somewhere down in South Jersey. But anyway, she takes a bunch of pictures on me on the beach. We get back to the hotel room. She takes a picture of me in the hotel room. Now, I didn't know with these pictures she planned on making online advertisement. I had no clue. But maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, she calls me back and she's like, I got one. I said, what are you talking about? She's like, I got you a date. And I'm like, get the fuck out. What are you talking about? So she explains to me what she did. And I'm like, you serious? She says, yeah, I put this up because I know you can do it, dude. Like, you sleeping with me. That shit is great. I know people will pay for this. So in essence, this woman pimped me without my knowledge. So she sets up this date, and I wasn't gonna go, but they paid so well. I believe they paid me like $5,000. So I'm like, you know what? I didn't have a job at the time. I'm broke, and I'm about to get $5,000. What does the woman look like? That becomes the next question. So she gets a picture. It's a reasonably older white woman. She had a nice body. She was old. She was in her 50s, maybe somewhere around there. I don't think she was 60. She was definitely in her 50s. White women age different than all other nationalities of women. But she was definitely in her 50s, but she was rather attractive. So I said, you know what? I could do it. For $5,000, fuck yeah, I could do it. I was a young, horny bull, people, and I'm not proud of it. This is not something I'm proud of talking about, but it's going to come out. So I'd rather take control of it myself than allow the media to take control of it and twist the narrative to something that never happened. So I get into this business. To fast forward, it didn't last long, actually, before I met the person I met. I met this person maybe a month, 2 months into the I don't want to call it a job because it wasn't really a job. It was like a side hustle because they called me. I got a call every couple of weeks. It's not like an incredibly glamorous life being an independent male escort. A bunch of women are not calling to pay men for sex. And there are not a lot of women who can afford to pay people the prices I was charging. $600-700 an hour. I think the price was like $500 an hour. There was a 2-hour minimum. because women need time to get comfortable. Women aren't like men. Women can't just walk into a room, lay down, and let people put their penis in them. No, a woman has to be relaxed. She has to talk. She has to feel comfortable. A woman has to decide to have pleasure that she wants to have sex with a man. And me, having dated women for years, I said, you know something? I give it 2 hours. 2 hours, a woman will know within 2 hours if she can handle sleeping with me or not. Period. And I was pretty much right about that. Long story short, I end up meeting this woman, and I was actually going to quit. That's the funny part. Right when I met this woman that changed my entire life, it appears right now, I was going to quit because the truth of the matter is, again, I didn't like it. I didn't like being in situations like that. It made me really uncomfortable. The money was good, but my mother was a minister, people. Like, that always played on me, the fact that my mother was a minister when I was involved in criminality, because I was always concerned with her finding out and becoming embarrassed. She, again, was a prominent woman. I didn't want her to notice. So the truth is, people, I was stopped in like a few months. So when I stopped, this girl didn't take down the ad, because the truth is, she knew the human weakness of money would always pull me back in. So she didn't take back the ad. So one day in probably November, I want to say 2009, it might have been November. It was November. It was November 2009. November 2009, she gets a call from a woman named Jackie. Jackie sounds like she looks amazing. Jackie's voice is amazing. It's sultry. Jackie wants to see me for 3 hours, and she wants to pay $4,000 if the picture of my penis that was with the ad actually is me. Chick calls me up. Yo, listen. Yo, you can make like $4,000 right now. She only want to see you 4 hours. Click. That's $1,000 an hour. That's double your rate. Now, I didn't need the money at the time. Well, I needed the money. I'm not rich, but I didn't need the money for those purposes at the time. And I said to myself, I said, I really don't want to do this shit no more. I don't like the situations. They're uncomfortable. People, it wasn't me. I'm not an exotic dancer. I'm not a male stripper. I'm not an extrovert like that. Strippers are extroverts. They're in people's face all the time. I don't like people in my fucking face. So I didn't want to do this. But the money, $4,000, 4 hours to have sex with a woman that could possibly be attractive, it's really a no-brainer for a man who's in his 30s who does have a healthy sex drive. So I said, okay, you know what? Give him my number. Let me see what's up. She gives me the woman's number. I hang up. I'm considering how I should approach. The woman calls me. Boom. She gets on the phone. Hey, blah, blah, blah. She says the name. Yeah. She and I starts talking. She's very direct. She tells me, yo, I want to meet you. I need to get smashed out. I need to get smashed out. She didn't mention her name yet. So I'm like, whatever. Long story short, this begins my relationship that lasted 8 years with a woman who was involved in a case before the Federal District of the Southern District of New York. God knows I wish I could wipe this shit away. Oh my God, I do not want to be involved in this shit, people. It has been so much stress on me. God, I wish that I could just get out of this shit, bro, but I can't. Because it turns out that I am a significant part of this shit, that the U.S. Attorney's Office is doing everything in their power to make sure it does not speak. I don't think, no, let me back up. I don't want to say that. They're not doing everything in their power, but they're definitely trying not to get me to speak about the truth. And I've decided, as a man who's been victimized by women who have abused process and lied on me for 4 years, as a man who has failed to receive the equal protection of law enforcement, as someone who has been falsely purported, someone who's been attacked, someone who's been defamed and slandered, someone who's been maliciously prosecuted. People, law enforcement has not granted me as a victim any rights, and they've never done anything to help me. And I'm tired of it, people. I'm tired of supporting law enforcement systems that refuse to help Black men and give Black men, minority men, any men, their rights. The U.S. Attorney's Office should not falsify the victimhood of a woman just to put a guy in jail. That shit is wrong, people. If a woman has complicity, she should not be allowed to use allegations of domestic violence, whether false or true. She should not be allowed to do this to get out of criminality just because someone wants to put a man in jail. I can relate to this because it was done to me by the Staten Island District Attorney's Office. It was done to me by the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, people. I was a victim with a valid order of protection against a woman I could prove lied on me to the courts, violated my due process and double jeopardy rights, and had completely framed me before the public and criminal law enforcement for over 2 years, people. Until this day, I cannot get law enforcement to charge this woman, despite the fact they know I'm a victim, they've admitted I'm a victim, and they're facing millions of dollars in malicious prosecution and false arrest litigation. People, I cannot get law enforcement to admit the truth of what they did to me, and I believe that that is the problem. So today I renew my vow to Operation Rock because my trauma has given me purpose and a direction to take this charity. And again, the direction I choose to take this charity is I choose to fight false reporting, malicious prosecution, and the tendency of law enforcement to refuse to prosecute those who abuse prostitutes falsely arrested. If law enforcement can go out and arrest people on an allegation, they should do the same thing and arrest those people they find make false allegations. If someone makes a false allegation on you when you're detained, it costs you $5,000 bail, $6,000 bail. It takes 9 months to a year of your life to fight it. Why is the person who did that to you not a criminal and not subject to criminal liability? I'm going to tell you why. Because the NYPD, the LAPD, whatever PD you're dealing with, they use the false arrest primarily inflicted by domestic violence restraining orders. Most of the violations issued by domestic violence restraining orders are complete bullshit. They're angry partners who call law enforcement to exact revenge on other partners who don't give a fuck about them no more. But see, law enforcement uses these arrests to pull into their overall arrest to make it look like they're really policing crime and they're doing their job. Domestic violence, false violation arrests, incredibly substantiate arrest records, and I'm 100% positive of that. Now, am I saying domestic violence doesn't exist? No, I'm not. Domestic violence definitely exists. There are men out there still hurting women, and women have the right to band together in solidarity to do something about that. But what I think is wrong about women's solidarity is the fact that even when they band together to support a woman who claims to be abused, they won't band together to ostracize that woman once they find out the woman has lied. The same way you're willing to stand up together, women, and fight a man and accuse a man of being a deadbeat father or an abusive man, you should be willing to help that man if you're wrong and you realize that the woman you supported lied on him. Now, people, there were a bunch of agencies that did this to me in New York City. One was called Warm NYC, mentioned by a woman named Stephanie McGraw. She is such a fake-ass woman. She really is, and I have a plan for her also. People, another one was the Safe Horizon of Staten Island, New York. Another one was the Family Justice Center. People, these are all places that intentionally violated my victimhood in order to support a woman for women's solidarity. People, the woman who accused me had absolutely no proof I was ever domestically abusive to her. The only thing she had was arguments after we broke up because she was stalking and harassing me. So people, my anger at this woman stalking me, harassing me, filing false police reports on me because I was cursing her out when I found out and calling her a crazy bitch and telling her to leave me alone. Women band together, this woman knew, to call me domestically abusive and began to pursue me, help this woman lie on me to courts, help to support this woman as she filed false police reports on me and gave false statements of me because they didn't like my language speaking to a woman. People, I don't condone this anymore. I don't condone women using law enforcement to fuck up people's lives out of revenge. I don't condone law enforcement refusing to file criminal charges against women they know are lying to protect narratives and the integrity of their office. So in my live cast today, I make an announcement. My name is Clayton Howard, and unfortunately, I am the male escort who was mentioned in the Sean Combs trial who had a sexual relationship with God, this girl is just so in my damn head. I got to get this crazy woman to leave me alone. With Cassie Ventura, and I wrote a book about it. That book will be released Friday. Not next Friday, this Friday. And the reason why is this. It's because I, as a victim of a sexual assault, have the right to speak out against my offender. And the U.S. Attorney's Office does not have the right to bury that speech simply because they want to protect the integrity of a prosecution and get a man who is clearly an evil piece of shit convicted. Here's the truth, people. They don't need to lie for Cassie to get Diddy convicted. Diddy did this shit. He sex trafficked men across the states to have sex with Cassie. She was involved. She was part of it. They were both complicit in it. This is just the truth. Couple of things I want to make a good point of for credibility purposes. Some people may realize that there's a gentleman interviewing calling himself the Punisher. I never met the Punisher, but I did meet the first male escort to testify, Daniel Phillip. Daniel Phillip is the gentleman who one time I was called for an orgy with Cassie and Diddy. And the purpose of this orgy was for two men, Cassie's top two men, to outperform each other so one of us would get the contract to be solo in that pussy. Clayton won that competition, and Clayton defeated Daniel Phillip, not defeated him physically because he's a dope dude. I like Daniel. He was a cool dude, but defeated him by outlasting him in this sexathon with Cassie. They paid me 10, 15 grand this day. I leave. A couple hours later, Shorty called me back to tear that shit up again. She like, yo, dude, you're the best dick I've ever had in my life. Come back. Whoa, okay, no problem. I come back. She pays me again. This starts my relationship being sex trafficked from New York to LA, New York to Miami, which I was in Miami probably a dozen times sleeping with this woman over a year, and I would stay there for days. Stay on Puff's dime, on the Bad Boy Entertainment Enterprises bill. I would check in under Frank Black, people. I know the name Frank Black very well. I've checked into hotels in New York under Frank Black. I've checked into a hotel in LA under Frank Black. I've checked into multiple hotels in Miami under the name Frank Black. You have to ask yourself a question. Why have you not seen me testify yet? Which I will be shortly. But the reason I believe that I am not, have not yet, is because of the fact that I can expose the criminality of a woman who has used her abuse to also hide her criminality and get this guy convicted for basically slutting her out for 8 years. Now, was he right? No. Did he impose a level of manipulation on her? Absolutely. She's a beautiful girl. There's no way a beautiful girl like that would have been sleeping with dudes and paying them. She can get penis for free. She does not have to pay guys. It was a fetish for her guy. They paid the guys to keep the guys honest and separate so the guys wouldn't fall for her and want to take her from Puff. That was the whole purpose of them paying men. This was something they both agreed to. This was something they both did. This was something they both enjoyed. The abuse did not come because she didn't want to sleep with people. That's a lie. The abuse actually came because she was sleeping with people, violating the rules of their relationships. And in order to understand that, you have to understand the dynamic of couples who swing. Couples who swing invite other people or other couples into the bedroom. Now, you have some couples that are willing to sleep with another couple, and then you have couples that are willing to sleep with only one person. Sometimes it'll be for them husbands, sometimes it'll be for the wife. But the whole point is that they bring another person into the room to sexually satisfy the partner because they want to spice things up, or one partner isn't satisfying the other partner. And that's him and God. I didn't know. The unfortunate only to walk around naked in a room for years with these people ass naked. So naturally, unfortunately, it's like a baseball player who's in the locker room and you fucking playing baseball with people for years. Motherfuckers walk around the locker room. You're gonna say, "Ah, shit, man, put that shit away." That was the extent of me seeing this. And I said, "Oh shit, Cassie telling the truth. This guy got a little dick." I said, "Oh shit, she ain't lying. He really do got a little dick." But I understood that that was my purpose. That's why I was called, people. I was called because I was larger than him and I knew how to pop him. And this went on, people, for 8 years. Now, I'm not going to get into too much detail about the stories yet, but I am going to announce that this book is coming out. And the reason the book is coming out is because I was birthed by an honest woman. And although most of my life, I can honestly say with great disappointment, I might not have been I wasn't the best son, people. I could have been better. I was selfish. I was arrogant. I was a knucklehead, people. Pain and grief and unfortunately trauma have changed me. And I just want to live my life in a way that I can be a truthful person and expose the truth. I don't want to lie on people. I don't have to lie on people. People, I'm too old for that shit. I'm in my 40s now, people. I don't have no time to play games with no fucking kids. I don't have time to play games with no women. I don't have time to play games with people in any capacity. This is why I made the decision to sign over my parental rights several weeks ago, because I unfortunately impregnated a petty, jealous, weak-ass woman who I realized would use law enforcement to harass the living hell out of me as long as I was a part of that kid's life, and she could not control me. People, yesterday was Father's Day. I can definitively show my audience I've spent over $8,000 on my daughter since December of last year until April. On tutoring lessons, on clothes, on iPads, on different events, on picking her up. People, I was a good father. People, because I didn't want to sleep with my child's mother, you know what she did to me? She lied to me. So the family court of Brooklyn, the most family court institution in the city of New York, could put a bullshit order of protection on me that would bar me from my child again. People, this woman is a fucking prostitute. This woman is a drug addict. This woman has no job. She's a scam artist, people. She's been scamming child support, lying, telling them I wasn't paying her child support. People, all this criminality, and they will not grant me any rights as a single father. People, I've been stalked between 2 states by a woman who has abused process and been caught lying in numerous courts, and I can prove it. They won't arrest her. that Cassandra Ventura sexually during her menstrual cycle. And okay, people, I moved to a new part of New Jersey. I can't wait for my life to come together, people. I'm so tired of living in New Jersey. The Wi-Fi signals out here really do suck, people. They really do. So, and lastly, like I was saying, we have the U.S. attorney. People, I am 100% a victim of a sexual assault. It may seem impossible because I'm a man and I'm 200 pounds, but people, I was sexually assaulted by Cassandra Ventura when she forced herself on me during her menstrual cycle because she was angry I had chose to try to stay with my ex-girlfriend and fly to LA and have sex with her. So she wanted to show me who was in control, and she forced herself on me while she was fucking bleeding. And it was a disgusting incident, people. Now, she testifies that Diddy made her do it. Diddy did not make her do it. That's a goddamn lie. He did not make her do it. We got into a huge argument, and he's the one who dissipated the argument by paying me and telling me she was wrong. He said, yo, she knew she was on her period. She lied. She was horny. She wanted to sleep with you. She was mad you didn't do it with your girlfriend. He totally blew her up. A couple of $1,000, sent me to the suite that he booked me. The next morning I woke up, Cassie called me and apologized, told me she was wrong and that she was mad at me and asked me to forgive her. People, how the fuck did Puffy make her do it? People, how did she overdose? Now, she testified to another thing. She tells people that she overdosed and it was a traumatic experience, and Diddy and the male escort was freaking out. And she says afterward, Diddy made her sleep with the male escort. People, I told the U.S. Attorney's Office a year ago that's not what happened. She did overdose, people. I was scared to death. I thought she was going to die. I ended up staying up all night holding this girl and trying to get this girl to wake the fuck up because she had overdosed off GHB in this bullshit hotel in Long Island. Shit, Shorty wakes up, people. Me and Diddy been up all night. We fucking tired. Only time in the whole 10 years I knew Diddy, the only time I ever saw him sober is this night Cassie overdosed. This nigga was sober. It had been a hell of a night, people. We sobered up. We were scared she was gonna die in that room. So, at the end of the night, we both want to get out of there, people. Like, I run to the store real quick. I get her some Pedialyte, shit like that, because she OD'd, help her hydrate herself. People, I'm ready to go home, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it had been a long night, so I'm trying to leave. She stops me and demands that I have sex with her, people. Diddy wanted me to go home. He paid me, people. He was tired, but he fell asleep when I stayed. So how could he have told her to have sex with me? I hate this part of Jersey. I got Again, people, I just moved to a new part of New Jersey, so for some reason I keep having technical difficulties, but we're back. So to summarize, because we're going on about 40 minutes, I didn't want to be that long. I will be releasing my book this Friday, and it is called da 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 da. Let's see if we can pull up a picture. I'm an asshole. I'm such an asshole. Let's see if I can pull up a picture of it. Let me bear with me a second, people. Do I have it up here? I might not have put it up here. It's all good. Actually, I'll put it up here. Want my people to see it. I'm actually really proud of it, people. Never written a book before. I'm not Ernest Hemingway, people. I'm not Alexander Dumas. I'm not an acclaimed writer, but I think I was able to tell my story pretty good. And I'm proud of that, people. Let me pull up the book cover. I don't know why I can't find it. It's really weird. Book cover, book cover, book cover, book cover. What the hell is the book cover? So weird, people. I can't find my book cover. It's going to be okay, though. Just bear with me 1 second. I have no clue where the hell my book cover is. Where is the book cover? Come on. All right, that's it. Where's the book cover? It's really so annoying. I can't tell you, people, why I can't find the book cover. It was here. I have no clue. But, people, it's here. Anyway, in a couple of days, I'll be coming out with it. And you can check it out if you so choose to. It's totally your choice. I really don't care. But I believe that the truth does. That is really weird. I cannot find the cover to my book. I know it was here. That's really bothering me now, yo, people. Hold on a second, because that's weird. I did have it, and I'm just kind of bugged out that I can't see this book. Where's the cover to my book? It's almost like it got deleted, people, which is super weird. Did I put that somewhere else? I don't think so. That is so weird. I can't find that, but I'm not going to dwell on it because I don't want to take all day trying to figure it out. But that is really weird. Like, why the hell can't I find that here? That is so weird. That is kind of bothering me because it should be here. This is the file. That is so weird that I cannot find it. That is so weird. It's really weird that I can't messing with me now, people, because I know I had it. I was actually talking to my editor last night. That is so weird. That's really freaking me out right now. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to dwell on it while I'm on live because that's just going to make everybody think I'm freaking crazy. I got enough people trying to hate on me saying fucking crazy. But anyway, people, I'm proud to admit, actually, I'm bugging the hell out, people. I can show you another way. All right, there we go. I actually can. I'm bugging out. I'm sorry. There we go. That's my book right there. So this book will be launching Friday because people, I am a victim. And as a victim of a sexual assault, as the actual victim of sex trafficking as it relates to 18 United States Code 1591, I have the right to tell my story without fear of retaliation from the U.S. Attorney's Office. I've been a completely compliant witness, people. I provided them plane tickets. I provided them corroborating information, people. I have told these people the truth the entire time, and they know I'm telling the truth, people. I was credible enough to go before a grand jury, people. I was credible up until 2 days before the trial when they found out I wrote this book and I was going to tell the world the truth about Cassie. Suddenly, once they found that out, people, I was fucking hot tomatoes and I was nuclear, people. They have avoided me like I am fucking emitting radioactive energy. So when you're ignored as a victim, what can you do? You can sit back. You can allow yourself to be victimized and ignored and disregarded by the law enforcement system that's supposed to protect you. Or you can do what I do and you can stand up and you can fight and you can tell your fucking story so people acknowledge the truth and they help you. And in this book, Cassie, Victim or Co-Conspirator, I tell the truth of the relationship, the truth of how I met her, the truth of her conduct, and the truth of what actually went on inside those fucking hotel rooms. Because I'm going to be honest, people, everything you're hearing is not the truth. Now, yes, some of you might say, ill, people peed in her mouth. I never peed in her mouth, people. I found that shit physically disgusting. She asked me for over a year, probably 2 years, to urinate on her. She explained why she wanted me to urinate on her. She talked about how the warm urine trickling down her face and breast turned her on. People, that shit was gross to me. And I literally told her, I said, baby, listen, you like me having sex with you? She said, yes. I said, then I cannot piss on you because once I piss on you, I'm never going to catch an erection. It's disgusting. And she said, really? You think so? I said, no, I know so. It's fucking gross. If that's you guys' fetishes, no knocking you. I can't urinate on you and still have sex with you. It's not going to work. She would ask me to choke her, verbally abuse her. People, I'm not a man who chokes and beats women during sex. I don't believe you have to do all of that in sex. Good sex is good sex. If we're having good sex as a man and woman, I don't have to call you a bitch. I don't have to choke you. I don't have to disrespect you. People, all I got to do is give you straight dick. That's all I got to do. And either you're going to come because it's good or it's going to hurt and you're going to tell me to hurry up and finish. Either way. But I don't have to verbally abuse you. I don't have to degrade you. And I don't have to disrespect you. So when she would ask me to do these things, considering they're not the things that turn me on sexually, I would say no. And over time, they stopped asking me to urinate on her because I would not do it. The same thing goes with the semen, people. Now that I know Diddy was rubbing my semen on his nipples, if that's what was happening, people, that's some creepy shit because they collected my semen for over a year, people. And what I mean by collecting it is I would do whatever with Cassie, and she would be like, yo, come in this little shot glass. And she would give me money. Now, people, at first it's money. I take money. All right, you want some nut in the glass? What you going to do? Drink it? All right, baby, here, do what you going to do. I don't care. But after a while, people, it started getting weird because it lasted so long. I mean, people, I was seeing her once or twice a month for a year or two. And they collected my come every time, going in the room like two little kids that just found gold coins under the fucking laundry machine. So after a while, I finally approached her and I'm like, yo, like, why you keep like, what are you doing with that? Like, what are y'all trying to do? Line me up or something? Because people, it was creepy that they were taking my DNA and going in another room for like an hour, bro. Whatever. Eventually that phased out, probably because I started having unprotected sex with her. And, the unprotected sex led into fucking pregnancies and shit like that, which is amazing, people, that none of that has been mentioned. But in any event, I talk about all of that in this book. I talk about the pregnancy. I talk about what really happened in the overdose. I talk about the fact that he did not make her sleep with him. I talk about the fact that she forced herself on me and she sexually assaulted me. People, I talk about the fact that how I've tried to file my civil action against her. And guess what's happened, people? I tried to have my attorney file my civil action. Her attorney contacted the U.S. Attorney's Office, and the U.S. Attorney's Office leaned on my attorney not to file because it would hurt her credibility as a victim, even though they knew I was telling the truth. People, how is that not injustice? People, why do I have to be violated as a victim? Why are my rights? Why is the trauma that happened to me being ignored because a woman's claiming physical abuse for a situation she voluntarily stayed in for money, power, and connections? People, no, people, that's wrong. And I choose to say something about it. So we are going on 43 minutes and 12 seconds, and this is Clayton with a special honorary broadcast for my late mother, who was a woman of immense integrity and who only advocated for the truth. So I tend to do the same thing, people. Through Operation Rock, I advocate for the truth. I advocate for the truth of false arrests. I advocate for the truth of malicious prosecution. And I advocate for the truth against prosecutors who bury exculpatory evidence to press malicious prosecutions against innocent victims. Diddy's not innocent. Diddy's guilty, but neither is Cassie. And Cassie should not be allowed to claim a position of victimhood when I should check the neighborhood a little better. Well, I had to move quick. So I just moved just so she doesn't know where I live anymore and I can possibly have some peace. Unfortunately, okay, people, same thing just happened again. So I'm going to be wrapping this broadcast up. Whole point is, people, justice has to be served. Nobody's right as a victim should be suppressed simply because a malicious prosecutor or a malicious judicial system wants to prosecute a man who they feel is a deemable target. People, Diddy's convicted whether or not you know the truth about Cassie or not, because he did pay these male providers to travel across state lines. I saw him physically assault her. He took part in these commercial sex acts, people, by watching and supporting them. Even if you knew Cassie was involved in this, Diddy would still be guilty. But see, the angle that the U.S. Attorney's Office is playing is the domestic violence, and Cassie is the one who they can prove the substantial domestic abuse against. So, as part of the women's solidarity movement, these prosecutors are banding together to highlight her abuse and how she was treated, and they don't want you to know the truth about what she actually did in those rooms, about her involvement, about the pleasure she had in the situation, about the men she manipulated and the damage she did in the lives of people she interacted with. People, I don't choose to be a victim. I choose to stand up for my rights. I choose to tell my story without oppression and without fear of retaliation, because I'm telling the truth. I've told this story to Maureen Comey, the U.S. attorney, and I've told this story to Emily Johnson. I've met with them both several times. The most recent meeting was May 2nd, 3 days before the start of jury selection. I met with Maureen Comey, excuse me, who, by the way, is an excellent woman. I can't say anything bad about Maureen Comey. She was a really nice woman, and I don't think what she's doing has anything to do with race. Diddy's a bad guy. He needs to go to jail. But I think what they're doing as far as trying to protect her as a woman, even though that she's guilty because she was mistreated, That's not fair. She should not be allowed to use the mistreatment of an abusive man that the world knows is abusive. I'm gonna tell you the truth, people. Cassie would have got to ask whether or not Diddy was making, whether or not her and Diddy was in freak offs or not. He's an abusive guy. He beats women. It has nothing to do with whether or not she was having sex. Again, she was never physically assaulted with me for refusing to have sex. She was physically assaulted when he caught us having sex behind his back. That's when he would put hands on her. When he thought she was emasculating her and trying to make fun of him for me. That's when he would put hands on her. All the actions of a jealous nigga worried about their ex or their girl trying to play them in front of another man. It wasn't because she was like, I really don't want to suck this big chocolate dick. And he's like, suck dick, suck dick. Never that, people. It wasn't her saying, I'm sore, I don't want to continue. And he was like, lay down and take more. People, it was never that, people. Never. She was insatiable, people. She has a huge sexual appetite, people. And just because she's claiming victimhood because this abusive man actually abused her, it doesn't mean that she's really a victim, people. I'm a victim of her. I'm a victim of sex trafficking. I have plane tickets to prove that I was flown from New York to LA, from New York to Miami for years. I can prove every word I'm saying, people. And it's time the world knows the truth about Cassie. Because the truth of the matter is no one should be maliciously prosecuted because a woman is lying and other women want to support the fact that she was abused. He abused her. Okay. If we want to arrest him for abuse and prosecute him for abuse, we should. I totally agree with you. I will support that. If you want to arrest him for mistreating other people, I totally support that. I was there. But I can't lie for her. And I can't lie and say that he made her do this when I was there. People, what's sex trafficking in the history of the establishment of the statute for sex trafficking exists, where a prosecution is had and the prostitutes' opinions don't matter. People, sex trafficking case involve prostitutes, people. They're usually like drug addict little Spanish, black or white girls that are stealing from people, shooting fucking dope, fucking 10 people a day. People, they're not the best citizens of society. Why is it any different with the male escorts? Because we happen to have been male escorts. People, most of us were in shape. Most of us had careers and jobs. People, even these male dancers are keeping themselves in physical shape. They're a lot better than a dope fiend who's laying on her back all day. But people, why, if Cassie slept with 13 guys, why did only 2 of them come on, people? Jane Doe is a super hoe. She got at least 10 guys. People, why are you not hearing from the prostitutes? Instead, you're hearing from women on the stand crying, saying that a man they tried to manipulate into a relationship used them to have free calls. People, this is the sickest shit ever, and I've been quiet for too long. So today, again, we're going on an hour, and I have to get off. I choose to announce the release of this book, Cassie, Victim or Co-Conspirator. You can find it on Amazon on Friday. It will be live, and people, the only point of this is to tell the truth, which is that she is not a victim. She's a victim of domestic violence. Don't get me wrong. I can never take that away from her. Being a person who saw her get punched in her chest, kicked, shoved, horribly verbally disrespected people, I could say definitely she's a victim of domestic violence. She's a victim of intimate partner abuse. She most certainly is. But people, she's not a victim of sex trafficking. She's not. She was part of the sex trafficking, people. She likes to have sex. She likes big black dick also, too. And maybe what Diddy did to her traumatized her so much, this is why she started dating Alex Fine. More power to that, brother, too. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I respect him. Because now, as the actual victim of her, realizing how nasty she was, people, I'm actually fucking disgusted. People, I am disgusted that this woman used to kiss me in my mouth, and people are urinating in her mouth, people. How do you think I feel as the guy that literally had this relationship with her, hearing the things that she was doing and lying to me, telling me they weren't going on? This is how messed up the U.S. Attorney's Office is, that despite the fact that they know Cassie did these things, they would rather sit back and pretend as though it didn't happen to hope they can get this conviction against him. People, I'm not going to sit quiet, and I'm not going to sit back and allow this woman to claim a position of complete victimhood that is false. She was not forced to have sex with male prostitutes. She was part of it. Her plan was to use her promiscuousness and the fact that she was willing to bust it down for a rich nigga to bag a ring out of Puff Daddy. Now, is it her fault Puff used her? Yes, it's her fault, because if she was a better woman and more of a queen, she would have been able to manage that relationship to truly be in control of him. Instead, she degraded herself. She lowered herself to a fucking whore to allow this man to I want to say, partake in physical pleasures of watching her simply to become his prostitute. Now, when he deads you and doesn't want to deal with you, he sex trafficked you. What about me? What about the guy you called independently for years and had to stop because Diddy pressed you because he told you can't be contacting the nigga he's paying to fuck you behind his back? See, people, these are all things that actually happen in this situation. And they're all told in this book. So people, on behalf of justice and on behalf of my late mother, who was a woman of immense truth and integrity, people, I elect to do the same in my life and tell the truth regardless of whatever situation happens or the outcome of that situation. I am a victim of sex trafficking as it relates to 18 United States Code 1591. My offender is Diddy and Cassie. Cassie is the one who sex trafficked me on JetBlue. Cassie is the one who called me. Now, yes, she can claim Diddy made her do it, but people, the oldest lie in the world that women tell that when they want to get out of shit is the man made them do it. It's like the Kanye song, people. Yeezy made me do it. That's all Cassie doing. Diddy made me do it. Oh, you was smoking crack? Diddy made me do it. Oh, you sucked 30 dicks? Diddy made me do it. Oh, you was letting this guy bust up in you wrong and impregnate you multiple times? Oh, yeah, Diddy like that. Oh, Cassie, you slipped him ecstasy by crushing up a pill in a drink? People, Cassie drugged me. The first time I was drugged was by Cassie. She crushed up a double-stack ecstasy pill and put it in a drink and lied and told me it was a week of doses. But guess what, people? Diddy made her do it. It's okay. People, bullshit. She should not be allowed to escape criminality by lying about the things that actually happened. And with the release of Cassie, victim or co-conspirator, she won't. Diddy might get convicted because, again, people, he's guilty. But so is Cassie. On behalf of Operation Rock and the mission to tell the truth, I am a victim of sex trafficking as it relates to 18 United States Code 1591. And I am Clayton Howard, the man whose manuscript was subpoenaed. People, my fucking book was subpoenaed. Now, I don't know if it was actually submitted by my attorney. I did tell him to submit my book because I don't want to be in non-compliance. I am not lying. The U.S. Attorney's Office knows everything in this book. So people, Clayton is doing nothing wrong because I have federal rights as a victim that cannot be obstructed by law enforcement pretending to bury my victim status so they can prosecute a guy who is a bad guy. People, they don't need to lie about Cassie to get a conviction against this guy. He's guilty anyway. So I'm not going to help them lie for Cassie to make this lie look better. I'm going to tell the truth. I'm going to speak about what she actually did to me. And people, I'm about to go public because the truth is that the jury and the prosecution and the people deserve to know the truth about Cassie. This should not be held. This should not be hidden. It should not be buried so she's allowed to use an excuse that Diddy made me do it. When there's a man who sat in a room with her 8 years that can say, no, he did things to her, but he didn't do that. People, I'm not for Diddy. I'm fucking not for Diddy. And when you read this book, you'll realize there's no way I'm for Diddy. People, I'm telling them everything that he did, but I'm also telling them what Cassie did. Because a true man of truth tells the truth. He doesn't favor one side or the other. People, I have no favoritism towards her. I have no favoritism towards him. People, I have no loyalty to her. I have no loyalty to him. I've been trying to sue them both for over a year, people. The only reason that lawsuit has not been filed is because Cassie is named as a co-defendant. If it was just Diddy, I would have been filed my lawsuit. My complication is that I wanted to sue Cassie for things I could actually prove. So literally, attorneys have been trying to coerce me not to file and refusing to file my action, postponing and delaying actions. This is why I missed filing in New York under the Victim Survivor Act, because my current attorney waited till 48 hours before the deadline to tell me that he was going to file in California instead of New York because it was better. The truth is, legally, people, I studied the law. It was not better. Jurisdiction is the primary purpose, the primary requirement in a lawsuit. And if 85% of the civil actions filed against the encounters, between me and Cassie Ventura happened in New York, then my basis of jurisdiction is New York. The only reason we're going to wait till the Action Act of California because that can be used after the trial. And after the trial, you get your conviction. Now, I get it. It works for me even if he gets convicted, but it does not work for my conscience and it does not work for my soul because I would know that Cassie lied on the stand and that I sat back and did nothing, being a man who something like this has happened to. And people, I refuse to do that. So on behalf of victims, on behalf of any man who has been lied on or falsely misrepresented by a woman before the family courts or the criminal courts, people, I'm Clayton Howard and I'm speaking the truth. And although I'm speaking the truth and it somewhat helps Diddy, you have to realize I'm speaking the truth because as a victim, I don't deserve to be ignored because justice wants to hold somebody accountable for something that they did, but they didn't do. It's complicated, people. But the point is she's a victim. She's not a victim. She's a co-conspirator. Forgive me. That was a horrible mistake. So people, just read the book. That's all I ask. Read it. Be open-minded. realize that the things I'm saying are true. Do your own research. Review the case history. Review how they were trying to get this book. People, listen to the truth. Contact me if you need to, people. The contact information for the business is in there. Ask for the plane receipts. Journalists, reporters, anybody who wants to verify what I'm saying, ask me. I'll send you information to verify all of this. How I was communicating with attorneys with the U.S. Attorney's Office, emails telling me about the meetings with Maureen Comey, emails from attorneys who were assigned to me by the government who literally tried to stop me from filing the book because it would destroy the case against Diddy because it was the truth. People, this is the truth of what's going on. So people, yes, my life is complicated. So as you can see, I have a lot of reason to advocate against injustice, people, because I have been screwed over all around the board, people. This is why I advocate for true political figures, because if I knew true political figures, I would have someone to help me stop this. But because everyone's corrupt, because the conviction of Sean Combs has become a multi-million-dollar industry, everybody wants this guy to go to jail, and no one cares about what this woman actually did. People, Cassie gave me chlamydia. I think by all accounts, I have the right to claim victimhood against a woman who intentionally burned me. And when I say she intentionally burned me, people, she's the one who initiated unprotected sex with me. If she was having sex with men all over the country, why would she be lying telling me that she was only sleeping with me because Diddy had a little dick, making me think that I was the only person she was fucking? People, that's deception. That's fraud. That's coercion, people. How is that not the criteria for sex trafficking, people? That's exactly what happened in my situation. So people, on behalf of justice, behalf of Operation Rock, support Cassie Victim, a co-conspirator. The proceeds going to Operation Rock, not all of them, but a significant portion will be donated to my mother's charity to fund programs to fight false reporting and social injustice and people who should not be in office, because people, that is my mission. It's not to harm anybody. I'm not a hater. I don't want people not to succeed. People, I'm the ultimate proponent for someone who has changed their life to become better. But people, I don't believe the wrong people should be in power. I don't believe fake people should be in power. And I don't believe that people who abuse process should get away with it. No, people, I'm choosing to fight. I'm choosing to stand up. So people, thank you for listening. Support the book, Cassie Victim, a Co-Conspirator, which launches Friday. And stay tuned, people, because we will be doing a lot more. On behalf of justice, on behalf of Operation Rock, on behalf of the goer who suffers with grief and loss every day. This is my public and very, very personal tribute to her today. 5 years at the Lord today, I lost her. Still something I'm dealing with, people, but you know something? I'm okay, people, and I'm going to be okay. I love you, Mama. Thank you for inspiring Operation Rock, and my prayer is that I can take it to a level where we can truly help people. Rich ass nigga just getting off the trap.